welcome to iBrand Daybreak on a beautiful, beautiful Thursday morning. You know how Thursdays are on the show for us. There's no dull time on iBrandTV and there's no dull time on iBrand Daybreak because we have all you need to, you need to make your day happy back to back to back to back. It's still celebration season and I'm sure you're having fun with family, loved ones, friends, and I'm sure you're celebrating responsibly just so you don't have casualties while celebrating. My name is Margaret Oba, and trust me, if you see who I have here in the studio, she looks amazing, delectable. She likes to dance like this, but does not know how to dance. Good morning, Perpetual.
That's not fair. I was going to dance, but when you said I love to dance, but I cannot dance, I just felt, you know what?
But there's something to compensate what I said. Now, I know I did you dirty by saying that, but then doing you good now. You look beautiful and radiant in yellow. Come on, Mrs. First on me, Peter.
Hello. Thank you for joining us this beautiful Thursday morning on your favorite breakfast show, iBrand Daybreak. I am Perpetua, fast on me, Peter. Well, Margaret already told you that Thursdays are scintillating, amazing, and beautiful. Well, we'll be making you laugh from ear to ear this morning. Well, we'll start with the news update, and from there we'll take you around the world. Yes, we'll take you around the world because we're going to be bringing you stories making the rounds on the national dailies for today. From there to the conversation segment. Now the conversation today. Ego hot, ego pepe. Well, that's by the way. So we'll start with the news update for today.
All right, the first story on the news of the day says, in a bid to expedite action in the fight against malaria, especially in pregnant women, HC Health Initiative had presented multi-million naira worth of medical kits and trolls to the Oyo State government through the Primary Health Care Board. The gesture, which is presented under the project name Impact Health Project, according to the HACI, aims to reduce maternal mortality by improving the quality of real health service provision, improving health data collection and management system towards providing accurate evidence to inform policy formation and improving quality of service.
And still in Oyo State, as Oyo State continues enforcement of environmental sanitation led by the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources alongside the Environmental Task Force and the Amotekun Corps to arrest environmental sanitation offenders, the Deputy Commandant Amotekun Corps Kazim Babalola enlightened market women at the Ojo market while soliciting cooperation of every trader in all major markets in Oyo State. He further emphasized that if the habit of disposing waste inappropriately is not abated, it could lead to transfer of disease that may lead to loss of lives.
Government's bond offer and allotment rose by 1.99 trillion naira in the first 6 months of this year to 13.66 trillion naira from the 11.67 trillion naira recorded in the corresponding period of last year. The Financial Markets Department of the Central Bank of Nigeria disclosed this in its half-year activity report for 2021. It attributed the rise to government's drive to fund fiscal deficit from the domestic market. The report stated that in the review period, federal government bonds worth 900 billion naira was offered, while public subscription and sales stood at 1.73 trillion naira and 1.42 trillion naira respectively. The amount offered comprised new issues and reopenings of FGN bonds. He added that the holding structure of the instrument indicated that deposit money banks took 1.25 trillion naira or 75.31%, while mandate and internal funds customers, including CBN branches, accounted for the balance of 411.22 billion naira or 24.67%.
South Africa has recalled rules that no longer require people without symptoms of COVID-19 to isolate or test if they have been in contact with a positive case. The government announced on Tuesday saying an amended circular will be reissued. Last week, the Health Ministry said that asymptomatic individuals who had been in contact with a case of COVID-19 no longer had to isolate but should monitor for symptoms for 5 to 7 days and avoid attending large gatherings. It had added that only those people who developed symptoms needed to get tested and that those with mild symptoms should isolate for 8 days and severe cases for 10 days. It had also revised protocols on quarantine, saying all quarantine facilities outside the home would be stopped, while contact tracing efforts would also be scrapped aside from in specific scenarios such as cluster outbreaks. And that's all on the news update this morning. We're going to a very quick time out, and when we return, we'll bring you stories making the rounds on our national dailies this morning. Stay with us, don't go anywhere.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services, that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery. Ooh.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
True unripe plantain flour is 100% natural flour gotten from the processing of unripe plantain. It contains no addictive and has a net content of 500 grams. True unripe plantain flour contains vitamin A, B6 and C. It is gluten-free and rich in calcium. Consuming true unripe plantain flour helps to build and strengthen stronger bones and can be a great meal for diabetic patients. It decreases your chances of constipation as it has a high fiber content and provides you with a low-fat diet. Here are some steps to prepare your true unripe plantain flour. Firstly, mix true unripe plantain flour with hot water in a pot and gradually add water till you achieve desired thickness. Place over medium heat and turn very well for 4 to 5 minutes to get the right texture. Mold into a ball and place in a bowl and allow to cool. Serve with your choice of soup. True unripe plantain flour can be eaten with any variety of soup, be it your ofe oha, ofe onugbu, gbegiri, ewedu, or your miyan kuka. To get your true unripe plantain flour, contact us at 12 Olowera Isheri Road by First Welder bus stop off Omole Phase 2, Olowera, Lagos, Nigeria, or call 070-6663-8213 or 081-6397-4447. Distributors are needed nationwide.
Oh boy, winning you was so easy.
I just couldn't stand those your powerful shots. That's what happened.
Really? Let's go to my place for dinner.
This fufu is so nice.
It's true unripe plantain flour.
True unripe plantain flour is delicious.
Yes, true unripe plantain flour is what I serve my husband for swallows. It's easy to prepare, fortified with vitamin A, low in sugar and cholesterol, rich in fiber that helps the heart, builds and strengthens the bone, and his energy level is boosted.
True unripe plantain flour, no additives, 100% natural, a product of Pali Agro Products Nigeria. True unripe plantain flour, available in all leading stores nationwide.
Most people don't understand the magic of a perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiville Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiville family.
Mama, you're coming to Lagos. Banga. Baby.
Glad to have you back on iBrand Daybreak, and this is the segment where we review some top stories on our national dailies. And joining us to do this is our own in-house analyst, Samson Oloyede. Good morning, Samson. Good morning. Compliments of the season. I don't think I've seen you till after Christmas. Have we had a conversation?
Compliments of the season. Well, you know the way the job is.
Oh, yeah. All right, Samson. Now we'll go straight to the newspaper. Now, the first story here, I'll take from this day paper. It says, the banner headline here says, with rising theft, Nigeria records 193 million barrels of crude oil deficit in 11 months. And of course, the writers of the story that says produces 441 million barrels of projected 635 million crude oil. Only 12 countries, 53 oil rigs active. Moving further down, says Masari, that's coming from Masari now. Islam allows the person to protect himself and family. That story is on page 42. And there's a story here that says at the top of the paper that says Buhari received manufacturers promises access to forex after to federal government to fast track establishment of designated authority for administration of rules of origin. Another story on page 5 says electoral bill CSO's right National Assembly highlights cross-referencing errors in the bill. And finally on page 40 says Lagos Assembly passes 1.4 trillion naira budget of consolidation, with the writer says Abiodun signs 351 billion naira 2022 spending into law.
And moving on to the Nation paper, we'll start with the very first story on the Nation. The first story reads, our worries over 2023 general elections, and that's coming from INEC saying that, well, they are highlighting their worries, and the writer here says worsening insecurity poses great threat. That's according to INEC. You may get a copy of the Nation paper to read that story. And checking some other stories on that paper, Oyetola signs 129.7 billion naira appropriation bill into law. Lagos Assembly passes 1.758 trillion naira budget 2022. And away from that, beg your pardon, cross overnight, states take COVID-19 measures. That's on page 2 of the Nation paper. Autonomy, why governors are yet to comply with executive order. That's on page 4. And checking some more stories. 16.7 billion naira for pensioners. Another one says NFF confirms, we have this particular one here, NFF confirms Pesero for Eagles. And away from that, 2 Nigerians are global scientists. That's on page 6. Residents pay homage to. And away from that, Buhari, manufacturers will have better access to forex. That's coming from Buhari. And that's all on the Nation paper today.
And then moving on to the Punch, the top story here says oil ownership. ACF back to Obasanjo, Pandev, INC Fume say constitution fraudulent. That's on page 2. And the writer says amend constitution if you are not pleased with Obasanjo's argument. ACF tells Clark Pandev. Constitution flawed, imposed by military. Ex-president mischievous, says Pan Niger Delta Forum. And moving further down, the story, Ogun Assembly adjusts 182 agencies, votes passes 350 billion naira budget. That's on page 14. And on page 4 says, order from above, family of admission seeker killed by Ocean DSS operative demands corpse. Another one says, I was once framed for armed robbery because of local government chair bid coming from the governor of River State, DS Wiki. The bottom screen says, power van crushes ASP to death in Ekiti. Command blames mechanical faults. Bar drunk STFU policeman manhandle punch man. Seat phone and ID card. That's on page 4 and 5 of the Punch. Ekiti Council's job exams. Fire me orders return of form fees. That's on page 16. And also the air piece of the paper that says, federal government raises 1.77 trillion naira school fund for Ibadan, Ilorin, Enugu to Port Harcourt, 95 other roads, and that's the report on page 21. MAN visits Buhari, laments serial challenges, get forex pledge. Airlines orders rake in funding of 46 billion naira in 9 months as aviation industry rebounds. And finally, on page 22, federal government borrows 13.6 trillion naira via bonds in 6 months amid rising deficit financing.
And moving on to the Nigerian Tribune for today, the first story here reads, manufacturers run to Buhari over forex electricity tax rate. And we have two writers for this story. President assures on improved supply for importation. The second story reads, Nigeria's foreign reserve dips by $59.892 million. That story you'll find on page 6. Another one coming from NAFDAC DG on page 3 reads, Nigeria won't take expired vaccines again. Nigeria won't take expired vaccines again. On page 6, we have Tony Elumelu Foundation's $5,000 entrepreneurship grant opens for Africans. And on page 29, bandits kill 82-year-old district head, sons, 2 others burn palace in Zamfara. That's very sad there. And moving away from that story, 2023, 57 pan-Yoruba groups meet in Lagos, plan how presidential candidates will emerge. Okay, and away from that, family demands justice over killing of 300-level varsity student by suspected Yahoo boys. Here we have rich men who have access to weapons, drugs behind insecurity in Nigeria. That's on page 2, and it's something you may want to read. It's from Al Mustafa. Still on Nigerian Tribune, we have Elusive Nation Nigeria, and the story is Christmas celebration by Shiites in Zaria commendable. Well, that's according to Afe Babalola. Christmas celebration by Shiites in Zaria commendable. And on page 4, we have 2 Nigerian dons make list of top global scientists. I mean, if you're a proud and patriotic Nigerian, you would want to grab a copy of Nigerian Tribune to read that story. And moving away from that, police van crushes ASP to death in Ekiti. That's very sad. Ijaniki gets main campus of Lagos University of Education. Ekpe gets satellite campus. I'll take that again. Ijaniki gets main campus of Lagos University of Education. Ekpe gets satellite campus. And that story is on Nigerian Tribune for today. And that's all we have for you on the newspaper review this morning. But then we'll be analyzing the stories because we have a guest in the building who will be helping us make sense of the stories. Hi, Samson. How do you do?
I'm all right. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, yes, we were talking about, we read a lot of headlines. I want to believe there is one that you probably want to talk about before we ask you.
Well, I think the one that probably stood out was the issue of oil theft.
I knew you were going to say that. I was waiting for. I could literally predict you something.
It's business.
All right, it's oil. No, come on. All right, let's go.
You know, oil theft over the last 11 months, the report says we've lost 193 million barrels of oil. It's not just about the volume of oil we've lost. It's more about the financial implication. Remember the NNPC released the reports days back where they talked about the sabotage on oil facilities, looting, vandalism, and all of that within a space of 3 months. The report studied, the months under review were August, September, and October, and the report said we had lost over 550 billion naira. In fact, the report stated 556 billion naira had been lost due to, those horrific acts. Now, that's just a 3-month spell. If you now consider 11 months, it tells you how much we've lost as a nation in terms of revenue that could come in and would use it to, build the nation, be it infrastructure development or whatever, channels you want to deploy the funds to. Now that's my concern. If we've lost 193 million barrels of oil over the last 11 months, you can easily do the mathematics. If within 3 months we lost 556 million naira according to NNPC. So it shows you that as much as we're crying, there's in quotes, when I mean we're crying, I mean, you know, the common man saying there's poverty in the land, we're complaining about deficits rising as a result of, you know, excess borrowing and all of that. We're also not making money from the oil we depend on because of the horrific acts of certain individuals or groups of people in terms of damaging oil facilities, vandalism, you know, amongst other things. And these issues are worrisome because it affects the economy, and we know quite well that the economy is at the core of a nation's development because it affects the livelihood of the people, it affects the GDP. The economy is life, basically, so to speak, of a nation. So if we have 193 million barrels lost over 11 months, and NNPC has said we've lost over 550 billion naira within 3 months as a result of these issues, it explains where we are. Another thing, to, you know, just to buttress this, there was one of the writers that talked about the foreign reserves dipping by, I think, 58 million naira or so. You know, that also shows you where we stand in terms of you know, economic situation.
$1 million, actually.
$1 million, I beg your pardon. Did I say naira? Oh, that was the slip of tongue. $58 million may look small on the scheme of on the scale of things when you consider a nation's budget or what have you, but $58 million also is large.
It's very large.
Because when you commit $58 million to probably the educational sector or health sector,
it goes a long way,
and it is used judiciously, it goes a long way in improving, you know, that sector. Maybe in terms of facilities, health. For example, the health sector in terms of health facility and medical facilities, among other things. So we have issues to deal with regards to securing our oil facilities and ensuring that vandalism, pipeline vandalism, sabotage of oil facilities, and all of that are put to rest. We need to curb it in its tracks.
Something you talk about vandalism, and it brings me to what's currently happening in Rivers State. The suits, the black suit is becoming, it has always been a health hazard now. It's now becoming overly hazardous because you see for a 9 a.m. kind of weather, it's looking like 6 a.m. Yeah, it's now, so you wear a white shirt, you go out and you come back and it's not a joke, right?
No,
you come back and it's looking like this, you were poured ash on you. You wear a nose mask, you try to clean your nose with your white handkerchief, and what you could see is some dark stuff coming on in your house. You enter your house with the pure fruit, and underneath your fruit it's looking like you have charcoal all over. So that's it's vandalism. It's becoming so bad. There was a report in something that happened in Choba River. Choba is a place in River State close to University of Port Harcourt. The river is all spilled with oil. It's been happening, and that I'm using this opportunity to at least talk to people who are involved. The River State people are calling for help. It's all of those things that cancer us. It's health hazards. We have people who are asthmatic, people who have health issues, and trust me, these things, aside the economic effects of vandalism on the society, talking about the health impact, health is wealth. It's even worse than what it has to do with the economy. So please, whoever can help the appropriate authorities, this is a nice time. As the media, it's our duty to bring all of these things to the fore. Please, then Rivers people need help. Nigerians need help. We can't have all of this happen. So
just to chip in quickly, you know, it's easy to also lay the blame on the government. No doubt the government bears the chunk of the blame, but the people need to do better as well.
They're the ones vandalizing these things.
Now, when you have issues of pipe vandalism, which we've seen over time in terms of, you know, pipelines being vandalized just to scoop fuel and all of that, it's quite, you know, you have to question the intention of the people. Now, beyond that, we've had my concern with the issue you raised, especially, you know, in Rivers, is that it's not just about health; it's also an environmental hazard that needs to be addressed as quickly as possible. To worsen matters is the fact that the weather we have now, you know, Harmattan season, it makes it even more difficult because it gets foggy. You know, sometimes the air you breathe in it's difficult. It's so dry, you know, you could probably choke up easily. So I think the government needs to wade in quickly. I know that steps being taken right now. We heard just days back about the Nembe oil spill that you know has been contained. So appropriate authorities need to just put those things in check. More importantly, we need to be proactive rather than reactive. there should be measures to ensure that as much as we've contained several oil spills, we shouldn't have oil spills again. At least, you curb it to its barest minimum. So for rivers and the people, you have to sympathize with them and understand that what they're going through is really difficult at this point in time, and let's hope that appropriate authorities do the rightful thing.
Okay, before we move on to another topic, I think this is a conversation that's really very important. We look at environmental degradation, that's what you talked about. We look at oil spillage, and then we also have to look at the capacity of the government, the ministries, departments, and agencies that are in charge of that sector. We're looking at their capacity. We're looking at what are they really doing. We're looking at DPR. We're looking at some of these agencies, and we're asking, what exactly are you doing? I remember when we talk about gas flaring, that's another thing, because you're talking about, oil theft and all of that. We have not exploited and explored what we have in the oil. We haven't even done that well enough, and I think that we really need to explore that very well. There are so many opportunities we have in the oil industry, but it's unfortunate. I really, when we look at all of those things, then we're wondering what exactly is happening. Is it that we don't have the right people in the right places?
We do, because the reports about yesterday or 2 days ago, barely 48 hours, was that Aitio, the company, that was involved in the whole Lembe oil spill, that they had to get, well,
according to the report,
let's leave it like that. but the report came out that after consultations with various foreign firms in trying to contain it, that was a Nigerian company that they were able to collaborate with to contain it. So it shows you that you have people who are competent within, the shores of the nation to also address some of these issues.
Then why aren't they addressing it? That's the question we need an answer to. What's the word?
It starts with S.
Thank you so much for staying with us this morning on this segment. And we're going to a very quick time out. When we return, we've got more amazing things for your listening pleasure. Don't go anywhere far from your television. Stay right here.
Market, just make you go buy fresh palm fruits. When you reach house, you go wash, you go pound, your body go dey pain you, even your fingernails go dey pain you. But make una no worry, make una relax. I get good news for now. Una don hear of Banga fresh palm fruit extract. All you need to do now, make you go for the open am. Take the amount wey you want, put am for your pot. Which soup you wan make? Shey na egusi, shey na ogbono, shey na vegetable, shey na banga. My sister no waste time again, my brother no waste time again. Just go buy Banga fresh palm fruit extract. They go know say you sabi cook and you be better cook.
Banga, come make your food yummy yum.
Distributors needed nationwide. Phone number 081 63 974447. 08035644436 07066638213. Banga fresh palm fruit extract.
Welcome back, and going straight into the conversation for today. Veteran Nollywood star shangeorge on Wednesday noted that she has no respect whatsoever for people who film themselves while helping the needy. She took to her Instagram story to know that, to note how she felt about anyone who did anything like that, or people who do things like that. And she said that people should keep their cameras at home while helping the needy. I think I should just tell you what she said exactly, verbatim. She said, I beg, feel free to reason them as you like. As for me, I have no single respect for anyone who doesn't keep their camera and their loudspeakers at home while helping the needy. Well, that's the conversation for today, and we are looking at charity. Is it right to capture the moment while helping the needy? That's what we're talking about today. And yes, like I told you before, now we've got an analyst in the building. Well, you're not analyzing now, you're just having a conversation. So for I think I'll start with, what's your reaction to what she said?
Well, it's a personal opinion,
Well, it's her personal opinion. So what's your reaction to her personal opinion?
She has a point. You can always make arguments for and against, an issue. Oftentimes, when people act, it's a reflection of who they are. Oftentimes, you have folks who are, introverts. They, in quotes, do things secretly, in secret. They're secretive about what they do. So, they won't go out publicizing. Now, you have extroverts who probably like being all out there, and then they project their lives basically, out there. You can always question it. I know folks who come from the biblical allusion of what your left hand is doing, your right hand shouldn't know, and all of that. At the end of the day, the intention is you want to help someone. Should it be publicized or not? Is it good or bad? That's where the question lies.
So what's your answer to that question?
I think we should talk about your own personal. What would you do?
Are you trying to run away from the
No, I'm not.
Apply diplomacy there. Alright.
I responded. Perhaps you weren't expecting that kind of response.
I'm expecting something that's direct,
Okay. Well, personally, I do things a bit secretively. Yeah, in secret. So you won't get to see me do that. As a matter of fact, my personal life is my personal life. It's private. But you can't question the fact that some people would differ from you. Not everyone would be secretive about what they do. Some people will just put it there in the open. Now, you could easily question if, those who they're helping are being mocked or embarrassed by having their plight projected to the public. We've had folks who say those things like, oh, why not just help? Why, have to put the person out there? It's almost embarrassing for the person you're trying to help. Now, as I said earlier, you can always make arguments for and against, but we should understand that the way we go about things differ. Foundations oftentimes project their charitable works out there. Does it mean that mocking, the less privileged or the folks they help?
I think when you talk about mockery, it's about how you go about it. That's what makes it mockery or otherwise, basically. And there are times that intention is probably not to mock somebody, but without even knowing it, you post certain pictures or certain things, certain scenario, and it comes out as mockery. Exactly, it comes out as mockery. So basically, when you talk about mockery, sincerely, I do not think anybody would want to intentionally mock someone. Exactly. But sometimes, just like I earlier said, it could just be something that's unintended. They did that maybe innocently just to portray to you that, man, this guy really needs my help, but then eventually it comes off as, come on, do you have to go that route? So I totally understand what you're saying.
But then, and looking at it from another angle, you could tell that some people, why they take out their cameras is not because they want to show off, not a means of show off now, but because it could be a means of encouraging the next person. For instance, you have a foundation, your foundation wants to visit the old people's home, motherless babies home, and what have you, and you are putting all of those things out. Maybe project Fit 5,000 and you're projecting it. You have cameras, of course, not because you want to show, but because it's a means of knowing that this is what we do. You feel free to join us to be able to reach more people. Why do we have publicity?
Exactly.
Why does the World Health Organization, why do we have organizations like that, of course, that are so very active in the media?
And they donate
and they come out to say this is what we've donated. Why do we have things? So I think Shangeorge has her personal opinion, like he said. He is okay. Beg your pardon. It's personal to her. But I think where I have an issue with that statement is she saying she has no respect for. I think maybe she should have just giving us her opinion rather than saying she has no respect for people who do that.
There's one thing I have learned. There is really nothing that is absolute.
Exactly.
Because for every situation, there are so many contexts. There are so many world views. So your world view shouldn't be, it's not the best. It's not absolute. Your world view is shaped by the things you have been through in life. Exactly, your personality. Your personality sometimes is even as a result of how you were brought up, the kind of people you mixed with, the kind of people, the kind of places you went to. This is shape you at the end of the day. So that's how worldview. Respect, forget it. Now, talking about publicizing things, sometimes I tell you what, sometimes it's not even because you need people to donate, you have all the money, but there's a way it makes you feel good. And I don't think that is wrong. If posting the fact that, I went somewhere makes me feel good, then it's my right to do it. As long as I am not embarrassing anyone, as long as I'm not mocking anyone, what's important is it makes me feel good. My sanity is important.
And you're doing it from the right frame.
Do you understand? It's not body's business why I am doing it. Why did you do that?
Let me direct the question back to you.
What question is that?
The one you directed to me.
Okay, for me, serious, like I said, Nothing is absolute.
Okay.
It's about the individual who is doing it. For example, there are times you need more people. Maybe you have a budget. You've visited about 4 homes, and then you know what their budget is or what they're expecting, and then maybe they need like 5 or 10 million naira, and what you have is about 2.5. What you can spare is about 2.5. There is nothing wrong about going public and making people understand that this is what you want to do. And at the end of the day, I need you to be accountable to me. I mean, if I donated 1 million naira to your cause, I need to know how you spent it. And so I need those pictures. I need those. Those are the things that make me know that, okay, this is true.
Receipts.
Interestingly, some Nigerians, sorry to cut you, some people have some reactions. Of course, Nigerians on social media always have what to say. So I'll just read 1 or 2 reactions from Nigerians. Okay, now someone said, Chooks Bogo said, I don't need your respect in that regard. Do yours in secret. You see what I don't know, mention that, right? Yeah. Do yours in secret. All we want is help. I know of a man that drives around calling, hustling people to help. After watching the video, I was thank God this guy just spoke my mind. I was motivated, and due to the fact I don't always have time, I sent in 200k to the guy, and he shared it and sent me the video. There are a lot of those videos that motivate. We cannot only record and showcase bad things, let us also showcase love and care too. So another person said, Jenny said, this encourages others to do same. Madam, free us. All right. Someone said, honestly, that's the truth. You can't be helping and recording. I think she's agreeing to what Shangeorge said.
Which is okay.
Okay, you can't be helping and recording, making videos. Let's who you are, render the help, be the one to announce your generosity and not by yourself. Thank you. Okay. I'll just take one more. I don't need it as a source of motivation. It is better for the one who got your help to tell the world how generous you are. A lot of people have testified to Davido's kindness even without him talking about it. That's maturity and God's kind of giving. Well, see, if we go on and on, we'd always have people have opinions and counter opinions.
Nothing is
Someone
absolute.
else said he helps him. He doesn't have time, so he had to send the money to the guy who calls people to help. Send 200,000. Another person is saying you don't have to do so. You see.
The last comment you read, the person came from the biblical, aspect, and that's what I talked about, the biblical allusion of what your left hand is doing, your right hand shouldn't do, and all of that. Again, you can always make arguments for and against. When you say what your left hand should do, it's pregnant with meaning. That's phrase. You can always argue for and against it. At the end of the day, what's more important is the intention. You want to help, and that should be what counts, not how you went about it. As long as it is not embarrassing or making a mockery of whom you are trying to help. I think regardless of it being there in the open or being secretive, you can always go about it.
Interestingly, you want to go biblical now. The Bible says, part of the Bible says, what your right hand does.
There are lots of contradictions. And
if you want to go biblical, some other people can still show you part of the Bible where people helped, and they can come from Jesus, from Abraham, from David, from Moses. They can show you where they helped and other people knew they helped. So come on.
That's why I said that there are lots of contradictions. You have folks who would argue that Jesus has also helped people in public, healed people, carried out performed several miracles,
wine in a big wedding,
and all of that. Now, not because he's trying to show off, he doesn't need to. I mean, it's Jesus. The truth again is when you now juxtapose that with what your left hand is doing, your right hand shouldn't know, still within the same scriptures. It's contradictory.
It all boils down to context. I wouldn't use the word contradictory. I would rather say.
I'm talking about the literal meaning.
The literal meaning.
Okay, that's figuratively. I wouldn't use that word anyway.
Not figuratively.
I think it's based on context, really. It's like I want to give offering. I don't need to come and announce to you that the offering I gave was so. I don't need to announce to you that, okay, when we're doing a church building or something, maybe the church wanted to build something, we're told to do it. I don't need to tell you that I donated 3 million naira to that cause. You don't need to know that. Do you understand? I mean, that's different.
Now, folks would also tell you, sorry to interrupt, that the same way you don't need to do that, you also don't need to publicize helping other people, fellow humans.
Now, helping other people, like I said, I remember saying it before.
Especially if it's a personal thing. If it was a group donation, like, okay, we're trying to donate to a cause, probably a friend needs a surgery, 10 million naira, that's a different thing. You definitely need receipts to show people that you're accountable and transparent in your dealings. But when it's a personal thing, you probably want to just give a child who begs on the street some money that you don't need to record it.
See, if you're giving, that's different. I mean, that's different. I mean, I'm walking on the road, I see someone I help, that's different. I don't need to record that. But when I
what makes you
that,
think you don't need to record that?
That's that. I mean, it's just
the same way you think you don't need to record it is the same way others think.
It's still context. If I'm doing something huge and like I told you about budgets the other time. I told you about budgets the other time. It's about the budget. If the budget needs me to make it public so that more people can come on, then we'll go on ahead and do that. I mean, there are so many people who do a lot of things during their birthdays to mark or celebrate their birthdays, and they don't necessarily put it out there and order, but when they put it out, it's just in celebration. They're just happy that okay, for my birthday, and they're not even telling you how much is involved. That's not what I mean. Do you understand? If I didn't tell you how much is involved, I didn't try to tell you I bought this, bought that, and all that, and I just post pictures. Just be happy with me and move on to your loan.
Tori alone is like, for God's sake. Now, Pep.
Okay.
Look at it. You just mentioned, the issue of donating to private church projects or, things of the spirit, so to speak. What's the difference between things of the spirit and things of the physical in terms of fellow human helping?
One is spiritual, one is physical.
So now, if you lend credence to the notion that things of the spirit shouldn't be publicized.
I haven't said things of the spirit shouldn't be publicized.
Wow, you guys haven't given me a good time.
No, you just did. You said you
didn't get my point. I was trying to bring context into the conversation.
Let me put you on the spot.
Okay.
Things of the spirit, donations to church projects or what have you, will you publicize?
I won't publicize it. I mean, that's different.
Things of the physical, will you publicize? Will you publicize? It depends now. So one is now cast in stone. I won't publicize.
Of course.
The other is it depends.
It depends on how I feel at that moment. It depends on what the project is about.
How about how you feel in the spirit as well?
You know what I think? I think that everyone's opinion matters because 4 plus 4 is 8. Same thing. 5 plus 3 is 8. 10 plus 10 is 20. 15 plus 5. So that you are seeing 5 plus 5 doesn't mean that someone who is seeing from the perspective of 8 plus 3 is wrong. Someone mentioned Davido as we wrap up now. Davido's just had some of his friends donate money to him. According to him, he wanted to get a car, but he came out to say he's going to give it to the charity. So the same Davido you were making the fuse about that he came out. So that's a different. It's his life. I believe if you want to help. If someone wants to help by showing it off, I don't want to help. You want to help by being in secret. The thing is there is a help rendered. So if you think you should do your own in secret, don't abuse me or don't try to make me follow your way. My pattern is my pattern. Depends on the intention of my heart.
And be responsible about it. Be responsible about it. That's the major point right now. Be responsible about it.
I'm sure something is tired of it right now, but we'll take a very, very short break now. When we come back, we'll go into the concluding part of today's show. I'm sure you're having a good time because Pep and something they're going to argue after the show, and I'm sure about that. But nevertheless, we'll be back after the short break. Stay with us. That was a very short breather there because we needed to breathe, right? Perpetual and something.
Inhale.
Definitely.
Exhale. All right, giving and not giving. All right, social media boss. Like I told you, Thursdays are days where we give you back to back. Come on, this celebration season, the Euro Tart season. We don't want any boring things now. Forget what's happening in Nigeria, all the bad things. Let's give you what will make you laugh. All right, now on social media boss. Interestingly, social media boss is one of the parts I look forward to on every show. Now this story here, baby. Let me just read it how maybe the guy or the girl will say, baby, I'm sorry this relationship has to end. Baby, take this 10 million naira. Go and start afresh. I got someone new and we are leaving the country. Reply as the baby. Now let me read that again. Baby, that's from the guy. Babe, I'm sorry, this relationship is not working. It has to end. You know what? You've been through a lot. You've been there for me when I had nothing, my no time. You fought for me. We cried together. But you and I, we don't click. You know what, babe? Just for your stress, collect this 10 million naira. Yeah. I got someone new, someone I think we click, someone that we we're cool together. There's something about connection. There's connection in relationship. Me and I, we don't connect, but now this person we connect very well. And not
see, I can fight you right now.
It's not about you. No, I'm talking about the guy. It's not about you. Baby, it's not you. It's me. I'm the problem here, right?
Really?
It's not you. It's me. But we take this 10 million naira. Start afresh. Live your life. You can meet someone else. I won't be angry with you, right? I'm sorry. Forgive me, but I met someone else. We're living in the country, and Ibla has the baby. I'm the baby, right? Let me just imagine I'm the baby now.
But yeah.
You did this to me. After all I've been through, God will punish you.
Really, you're gonna say that?
Wait, let me finish. After my heart, my blood, I feel like crying anyway. My water, I gave to you. I left other persons and I came to meet you, baby. You broke my heart. This is my account number. Because I can't let go of the money. I'll be hot, but come on, I'll meet other persons. Okay, now that's me as the baby now, right?
Okay, that's a good one.
You as the baby. No, it has to be you as the baby.
You as the baby.
Your baby.
It has to be her.
But it's easier for guys to do that too. You can hardly see ladies do that. Okay. Something, you are the baby.
To be honest.
Forget English, tell us you are the baby. Don't speak English.
No. I don't subscribe to severance packages in marriages, in relationships, you know. If it's marriage, you probably have prenups and all of that, you know. I get that, but come on, relationships. I've heard of it. I know folks who have received and who have also given, but it's just weird to me. It has happened. Breakfast is enough.
To really lose on both parts, the money and
now
the
that's the point. What's your definition of lose on both parts? You know, when folks come up with I'm serious now. When folks come up from these angles of I've lost, quite all right. You know, you've devoted so much to the relationship, especially if it was one that was for some years or months, in terms of time, effort, commitment, and all of that. You have no doubt about it. But should it now come to the point wherein you commodify your emotions? You commodify yourself to say, oh, okay, we did it for 2 years, it didn't work out, so all the efforts I've put in, the time, blah, 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 and then you commodify it and place a price tag.
You know what?
It's ridiculous.
I think, when this thing, if it really happens to you, maybe because, we're just playing about it, but imagine somebody you really love.
You want to think about money,
right? You're dreaming, you're already telling yourself, this is my husband. For you, everything is it's sealed. All of a sudden, he comes in and then, forgetting about all the promises we've made to each other, he's telling me there's another babe somewhere. As if that is not enough, and you're telling me on top of that 10 million for what now?
But interesting, like Pep advisely said, because we are taking this as a joke on the show. But really, if it happens, the first thing is to think like,
you understand? Yeah, heartbroken,
you did that to me. Like, where did I go wrong? At that point,
where's the 10 million coming in for? Are you trying to say I'm hungry? Are you trying to say I can't live without you? Have I been living on you?
Even if the folk, the individual is, at that time not financially buoyant, and has several financial constraints on projects or you won't think about the money first.
All right,
because you're heartbroken. At that point you would reminisce on several things you've either said or done over the last few days that could have warranted such a decision. Like, is it what I said 2 days ago? Is it what I did? Is that, where did I go wrong?
Let's take the comments from people
right now. Okay, you want to start?
Okay, yeah. Becky Precious Eleke says, baby, this calls for celebration. I'm so emotional right now. But when Jesus says yes, who can say no? I prefer cash so that it won't bounce back. Crying and shouting, baby, please don't do this to me. Baby, let's do this again. Baby, please don't forget to give me a scotto. Because I know that's my area body.
Alright, that Becky is a really funny person. Okay, Raphael Amos said, I was planning to advise you to start a new relationship before. Wow. But thank God you have started this one. This 10 million will go a long way towards starting my new relationship.
That guy was never in love.
Why the fight? The guy said, may you succeed wherever you go. May you never lack. God bless you, good man. Marco said, may God protect you as you travel. God knows why it has to end this way. And I pray we find happiness with whoever we are destined to live together forever. Thanks a lot for the money, dear. Nigerians.
I think it's just cruise.
No, it's
forget it. It's just cruise. Let it happen to you. That's when you will know.
I had someone who had done that.
Maybe from the get-go, they were never really into the relationship.
Well, but probably the money, money has a spirit, But then, irrespective. Nobody will give
Well,
anybody
you've told us
bread
your
pass.
stance. Pep.
Come on now, we don't
I
have
already
time.
did.
Pepper said she won't collect the money.
I
You
won't
will
collect
collect
the
it.
money.
I'm the bad person here.
You're not the bad person.
What makes you bad?
A land.
But you know what? If on my birthday, I mean, he didn't mention the 10 million, but on my birthday he sends it. We're going to have a conversation.
But
I might not
no, that's
return it.
afterwards.
Afterwards,
not on the
exactly.
spot.
I mean, I might not return it. Like, okay, thank you. But it's
So
not
I'm not
serious
entirely
package.
the money lover here anyway, but I don't hide my own me. Give me the money. I'll be heartbroken, but I'll get over it. Thank you so much. All right, thank you so much for joining. I was joking. Don't mind me, right? Thank you so much for joining us.
I'll tell him. I'll tell him.
There's not him in the picture anyway. Okay. All right, that's it on the show today. Don't mind Sam saying thank you so much for joining us. I'll wrap up the show with a quote from David Brinkley, and this quote says, "A successful man is one who can lay a firm foundation with the bricks others have thrown at him. A successful man is one who can lay a firm foundation with the bricks others have thrown at him." So I like to end this way. And the thing is, like I'll always say, life throws you pepper. What you make out of pepper is either pepper soup or a. Did you say perpetual? No. All right. He said pep, right?
I said pep.
You can make
Pepper
anything
soup.
that starts with pepper soup, pepper sauce, pepper snail. Just make something to start with pepper. It's not that hard. My name is Margaret Opara. Join us next time.
And my name is Perpetua Fasami Peter. Thanks for joining us. See you some other time. Bye for now.